This is a Valiant Star podcast. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Norris Be Like. You guys know I'm right. What is it? 40 what? 40?
51.
51? Oh, okay. Episode 51. And as always, we have the crew. Starting down the line. Patty, that's you.
You, Patty.
Yes.
All right, there's Patty. And then after him,
It's Lenny, your boy.
It's Jack.
It's Antonio, and I just saw something that I don't understand.
What?
We'll get into it. We could talk about it in news. It's kind of a spoiler, but I'm very confused right now.
And it's me, Dan.
dun, 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 dun.
All right, what are we talking about today?
So today's episode,
We are talking about the best and worst deaths in video games. So how we're doing that is best would be like the most impactful to the story, actually drove the plot along. Even though you were sad about it, you realized that, it did something for the story and it was important to it. And bad means you just shit on your face, didn't have to happen, done in a really shitty way, and just was really dumb.
yes, exactly what he said.
But before
I'm
that,
gonna let you know right now. I don't know if I have a bad one.
that's fine. I think honestly we should do the good ones first because I think we can shit on the bad ones a lot.
Okay.
Because I know that for Patty's, I'm going to shit on it with him.
Yeah, I don't think, Jack, you don't have a bad one either, right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys go first, I may think of a bad one. While you
Yeah,
guys.
I only really have one that I really know of.
That's fine.
It's okay. All right.
So before that, I do want to bring up one thing that I just saw on Twitter.
You said spoiler.
It is a spoiler, and
to
I will
what?
say it's spoilers for the latest season of Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
Did you see this, Dan?
No.
Oh, do you want me to say it, or are we just gonna gloss over it?
Dude, I don't care about Supergirl anymore. I don't care about the
I mean,
show
that's really
anymore.
it. It's more just like
it's a
what.
CW show. It's kind of cringe.
So spoiler. Skip ahead to I don't know what time, but just don't listen. So apparently they're making Lena Luthor and Kara thing.
Like, dating?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Interesting.
Or this is just like a fanship thing. I have no clue, but I saw it on Twitter and now I'm very confused.
Is it from a report?
It's
a
more just like a
website?
trending thing.
Nah, I don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna look more into it, but
It's what it is. It's what
I
it is.
mean, I honestly don't care too much about the show anymore.
I thought we made a whole episode about it early on.
You know how much we love CW shows.
It was like episode 9, something like that.
Yeah, now we just don't
it's
care.
been a while. It's been like a year at this point.
Pretty much. So while you do that, I don't know if you're still looking for it. Let me find news. I didn't write it down, but it's on my phone. Did we talk about Bo-Katan?
I know.
I know it was on the Discord, but I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast.
What did you say? I didn't hear
I don't
you.
think so.
Bo-Katan.
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, well, that's news then. We could talk about it.
Yeah. I go take it away, Brandon.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it because you brought it up.
Well, go ahead. I'm looking for it.
I gotta find her name. I forgot what her name is.
Or the original voice actress, or the voice actress
Yes.
for Bo-Katan and for in Clone Wars and in Rebels, whose name is
Katie Sackhoff. I'm guessing
There you go.
that's how her last name is. Katie Sackhoff is get to reprise her role as Bo-Katan. Honestly, I'm excited.
it might have happened like the day after we recorded.
Probably
Yeah.
because I remember Eric sent something in the group chat, and then we all started flooding that too.
Yeah. So something like about like Tuesday, something like that it came out when we recorded on a Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's gonna come back for Mando season 2, or back to the role, but that character will be in Mandalorian season 2. It's good that they got the voice actress to do the live action version. I think
Mhm.
she kind of looks like a character a little bit.
Just put the red hair on and then boom.
You think it'll be a wig, or they're just gonna dye it?
I don't know.
They could go either way. But yeah,
I
there
feel
was
like they
that
dye it.
diet.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, she's blonde, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's blonde.
It's really just the hairstyle that you need to get. It's more. I feel like that's
The most
more
important.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick
Or
with the
she won't
style
take
over
off.
the color.
She won't take off her helmet for that long, so they're just gonna put on a wig.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
yeah. So what next? I guess sticking to Star Wars for another one. Mark Hamill said he's done playing Luke Skywalker.
I would be too after episode 9.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
what else is there to do?
For him?
Yeah.
Voice acting.
No, I'm saying for the character.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh,
voice
Luke.
acting.
Oh,
He
boy.
could voice Luke,
Eh,
but even then, I don't know. I mean, they got someone else to
he's
voice.
too high budget to do that.
No, I think he'd do it.
He's too high
If he
budget.
feels like it. It's
Yeah.
just like Henry Ford with Han.
You mean
I don't
Harrison
know.
Ford?
I think I do think like
Henry Ford.
what Brandon's
Yeah, my
saying.
bad.
Episode 9 probably left a bad taste in his mouth, like most people.
So now
Harry
it's shite.
Sean Floor.
Yeah, Harrison Ford, not Henry Ford.
Different people.
I know.
So
I know.
different.
Wasn't Henry
I
Ford
know.
like a president or something?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I thought
He-
no.
he-
Was it Henry
made-
Ford the guy who made?
Oh, who made Ford?
Yeah.
Ford cars?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
the
was.
car man.
Yeah, like invented the production line, not Harrison Ford, the guy who played Han Solo.
And Indiana Jones.
They're
Yeah.
both as important to society.
And in Blade Runner.
I didn't see Blade Runner.
It's a good movie. So yeah, he said it was. He can't imagine playing that character again. Because
I mean, he's dead.
he's- well, he said seeing as a like I had a beginning, middle, and an end. It was the ending to
An era.
to his character was kind of bittersweet. And I don't think he means it like
In a bad way.
yeah.
No, but we do.
I'm sure inside for him it does mean that, but to the public, I don't think it's meant to sound like that.
No, I can't. He can't completely burn the bridge. He's got to
Yeah.
burn it in like a sophisticated manner.
Burn the edges. But keep
Exactly.
The center
Just,
intact.
just like cut the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Cut the suspension.
Yeah. I guess if I'm a little sad about it because I really do like Mark Hamill and I did really dig his look, like old Luke. And he got back into shape to do that, and I feel like they just kind of wasted it.
I think this is just another example of like us starting this podcast at like a weirdly like good time almost because like
Yeah.
with Endgame, that was like an end of an era. This is like another end of an era for Star Wars, and I think this is just like a weird like turning point where it's really like we're at that point where we can start to see the changes and we can start to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. And like a new beginning to other things like Mando, like
Yeah, not the Skywalkers,
the-
not
yeah.
Palpatine.
Fuck that
Palpatine.
movie, bro.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up what Jack sent earlier because I watched it and it made it made me mad, but like not in like the sense that
It's
it was a
not wrong.
TikTok. No, exactly. So apparently there's was it a comic he said where they
Yeah.
say that like Palpatine like did some weird Jesus stuff and like
Voodoo magic.
yeah, well
Like,
he
he
did some
birthed
Jesus he did
Anakin?
yes, he is
Yeah,
the
I
father of
know that.
Anakin. Therefore,
He manipulated the
Luke is a
midichlorians.
Palpatine, Kylo is a Palpatine, and we had like even more incest than we thought.
Ray's a Palpatine.
Well, Ray we already knew, but like
We knew
Ray
that.
and
Kylo.
Ray and Kylo, I was saying it right. Kiss, so that's even more incest in the
yeah,
show.
dude.
In the
It's so
movie.
bad.
Movies,
Also,
I don't like how
another
the
thing
way
about-
they ended it.
See, you know how I made you watch the Cinema Sins on episode 9? So the Cinema Wins guy, who basically does the opposite of Cinema Sins, made a hour-long two-parter on episode 9. And I've been watching it, and it really upsets me.
Is he just like blindsided? Is he just like?
Yeah, he just doesn't. Yeah, he.
I feel like the only way you can do a channel like that is if you eat up stuff and you try to find the best in everything. It's like you're just someone who's like constantly eating up like whatever you're given. Like you know what I mean?
The reason, well, he intros it because I mean, obviously he knows that like 99% of people hate this movie, but like his thing is like he tries to find the reasons why anyone would ever enjoy a movie. Which I
Also, it
can kinda
helps that like
respect.
it also helps that Cinema Sins is the opposite, and you can
Yeah, so
Well,
there's
Yeah,
that's
like
but
a
Cinema
contrast.
Sins gave off sins for the Rey Skywalker part, and that makes me even more mad.
Well, I mean, I could. Well,
Like,
you know, like
what they
you can-
do is that they add sins for stuff they don't like, and for stuff they do like, they'll take away sins if it was badass enough or if they liked it enough. I just don't think that's impactful to the story. I think that I get that as a character, she wanted like family and all that, but I think there's a better way to do it than just saying, "Oh, I'm a Skywalker now."
I don't know. It's dumb.
I think if she really wanted the family, she shouldn't have gone off on her own. She should have. There were characters that she had made attachments to, that even if she wasn't going to be with them all the time, she could have helped them in their endeavors. Like she didn't have to just run away. She could have helped rebuild. That's how I feel. I feel like I don't know. It's just more
I'm playing
hating
more
on
than
episode
I am
9.
right now. Yeah. I forgot what I was even talking about.
Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, I like his look.
I was like, I thought you were to say something.
I mean,
more.
I
No,
think
no.
I think his Joker is better than his Luke, but
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right, let's
I love
go
his
to the.
Joker.
dude, his
Actually,
Joker
there is
actually like insane.
there is a weird Joker, not weird Joker thing, but like there's a statue that is for the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Mm.
That is about 28 inches tall.
Okay, so like
Where?
a little over 2
Like
feet.
online to buy? or
Yeah,
something?
it's from Prime One Studios. It's kind of like the like Hot Toys kind of thing, and it cost $1,300.
I mean, they're probably like handmade. It's probably one of those ones.
Maybe, yeah.
hand sculpted hand.
Yeah,
But it
'cause
really looks like
that's why those the Kai arts are really expensive, because they're like, I'm pretty sure they're mostly made by hand.
the Captain Rex Hot Toy is like 220 some bucks.
Do you have the link for the Joker
For the
one?
Joker one?
Yeah.
It also might be like a
Um,
very limited run.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have my ruler.
28 is like 2.5 feet.
No, it's like a little over 2.
Oh, 2.25 or 2.33. Sorry. So it's like close enough. Because 24 is 2 feet.
It's 2.
my ruler's not that big.
An extra 4 inches.
Yeah,
my
so
ruler is 18 inches.
2 1/3.
so- Okay. And I do not have the link, but I can find it. While I find it, there is also the oh shit, it is right. That is terrifying. Okay, I found it. It's like the first thing in their website. I mean, I like it, but it's a
it's like
pre-order.
kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's a pre-order for oh, so pre-order started. Okay. It was started the 14th. So like 4 days ago. Here's the link. So let's go back to Star Wars real quick. Clone Wars actor, the guy who voices Obi-Wan, says he would like to be involved in the Kenobi series in some sort of way. Like, I guess I would say like either he'd want to be like a miscellaneous character, but just wants to be in it. He said, I want to be in that thing so bad. Understandably, that guy is a very talented voice actor.
Holy shite.
The Joker thing?
This shit is so well detailed.
Yeah,
I know.
that's-
well,
It's pretty good.
Like,
I found
extremely
a
well detailed.
there's a Batman versus Joker one that's even more expensive. And it's
Oh
like
yeah, and
I
this
don't
thing comes with a bunch of extra props. You get a
Yeah.
gun, flower
his
wand,
notebook.
joke book, bag, wrap, broken signboard. Don't forget the smile poster and a clown mask.
I would like to get one of these one day. Just not
they're
today.
really
Oh, you have to put a deposit on these things.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's basically $130 deposit that you have to put down when you
Oh my
order it,
god, I see stuff on Berserk.
and then you pay the rest
Where?
of it when you get it.
Oh.
Are you just looking around the site, Brandon?
Megatron looks dope.
Are we just gonna be in the website for a while?
No.
I will be for a little bit.
I'm getting off before I get distracted.
I mean, you guys can look at it if you want. It's no problem. And there is some Percy Jackson news.
What?
Oh,
If
I
you
know.
can
I've
believe it.
already seen.
Oh
this.
yeah, we talked about this.
I'm so happy that this is becoming a thing.
There's a Percy Jackson series in the works at Disney Plus.
And this time, Rick Riordan, aka the author, is actually
Yes.
involved.
It's extreme.
Hmm.
He was the one who made the announcement. He was like, it was basically like,
I'm
I'm doing
involved.
this.
I am doing this. This is my thing.
I saw those
We're doing
movies.
this.
I know they were abominations. I apologize. I'm gonna make this series for you guys. It's gonna be fine. Everything's
the-
gonna be okay.
It's all gonna work out.
The original actor for the movie said he's excited to see it, and he hope it gets the adaptation the books deserve. And he says congrats to the author.
Well, because the original actor, he wasn't the problem. It was
Oh,
the
no.
writing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Pretty,
Yeah.
It was pretty exclusively writing.
I was fine with the actors they chose.
Because he's done good stuff, hasn't he? Like
Yeah.
lately?
Yeah. He
Little
was in
Mermaid's
Perks
really-
of Being a Wallflower.
He was in Fury, that tank movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie slaps, dude.
Yeah,
I
it.
love
I
that war
It's a
movie.
really good movie.
When I heard Patty say the S,
Oh, what
I
the
thought he
hell?
was gonna say socks. I was about to start yelling at him.
Yeah,
He
me
was
too.
laughing
Fury, dude. I
I
love that movie.
was just getting ready to yell at you.
Shia LaBeouf was so.
They had Brad Pitt. Was it
Wait,
Brad
wait!
Pitt?
I just
Yeah,
saw
think
it.
Yeah.
So
They
I've
had John
discovered
Bernthal.
something. In the Percy Jackson movie, in the first one, they had Rosario Dawson in it.
What?
Oh yeah, they played.
Yeah.
They played Persephone.
Persephone.
Was Rosario Dawson?
I
forgot.
she played.
The woman who's going to be playing Ahsoka.
Oh, she was a
Mm.
Percy Jackson. Oh, she
Oh,
was a
from
Percy
the
Jackson.
Yeah, I just see that.
This was like made 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
10 years
Something
old.
like
The
that.
same.
I forgot. She was
age.
she was the one that released.
It's over 10 years old. Yeah, it's had decent.
Oh,
it's had,
that
like,
guy.
a good list of actors. It was just really terribly written because I think Rick Riordan wasn't involved like almost at all.
I think that's what it was. There was
I think he wasn't like.
there's a lot of inconsistencies. Like if you read the books, you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is just something that easily just like could have been right, but it was wrong.
Yeah, let me look on IMDb to see.
I forgot she was in it. There's no
Yeah.
release
She's a
date.
very pretty woman.
Huh. This might be the first time I actually seen her, like in a movie.
Was that?
Probably.
Yeah, Percy Jackson. I'm pretty sure. And then other things afterwards, but I think this is the first time.
Yeah, from what it looks like, unless Rick Riordan wasn't credited in his role, he's just not here.
I just don't think he was honestly part of it.
I don't
Oh,
think
that
he was.
guy.
Unless, yeah, I mean, he's not credited like anywhere. Yeah, he's just not. So then maybe they like went and talked to him and they didn't credit him, but he's.
They're like,
just-
hey, can we use your book and butcher it? Sure.
But I think they probably owned the rights.
Yeah, who was it? 20th Century?
I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
it must have
Probably.
been. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
it
well, no,
definitely
here
is.
he is. Yeah, writing credits, and he's only credited for writing the novel.
Oh, God.
It's the only credit he has in this, and this is the first one. I think they made 3 of them.
No, they only made 2
two.
movies.
Me too.
2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one, everyone got a haircut.
Yeah, they all looked completely different.
It's like the budget went down twice.
Well, let's find out.
And then Grover had his horns.
Budget
He's
was
growing his horns in.
95 million. It actually did decently well.
I like that actor too.
Yeah.
Brandon Jackson.
the,
Question
the,
mark?
the budget did go down.
A
It
lot.
went down by 5. No, not by a lot. It only went down by 5 million. But they made a lot less money with this one. They made like 250-ish on the first one, and they only made 200 on the second one.
That's not good.
As one would hope.
Yeah. That's bad.
The first one was
They
pretty.
were
I
Fox,
enjoyed
yeah.
the first one.
They
Yeah,
were.
I
Yeah.
did too.
Back in the day, I did, but then
When I was
Yeah.
I'm
10,
sure they're not great.
because that's they came out like recently after the books.
2011.
No, yeah,
something like that.
2010, 2013.
Oh, there you, oh wow, I could land in the middle. But yeah, it said that's in the works at Disney Plus. Doesn't say any release date, but definitely good news that the original, well, the author's working on it.
I feel like if it wasn't, then all hell would break loose again.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So there was time. So the first book came out in 2005, and the movie was released in 2010. So there were a solid 5 years in between those two, and they
To do something else good.
to do something decent, and they didn't do that.
There is actually this you guys probably know this. There's on Netflix right now the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
It's
Eric was
available.
talking about it.
There you go. Did someone
I-
say that?
I don't have to open up my sealed box set. This
just
is
preserve it.
poggers
You preserve it,
forever.
Forever and ever.
bury it, and when you die,
When I die, I'll bury it in a
next
capsule, and someone
to-
can find it, and they can be like, "What the hell are these?"
What's the arrow pointing to? But that's I think when we
Destiny.
do that, when we do an episode on this, we should probably like use the Netflix party third party thing
Yes.
to watch it together.
The what?
The where
The
you
plugin.
watch, the plugin where
browser
you watch
plugin.
together. Do you remember what it is, Brandon?
Oh no.
We
It's
can
called-
talk
dude,
about it after.
It's literally called Netflix. Okay, it's called Netflix Party. I'll just.
It's
send
okay,
it.
Dan. Don't hurt yourself.
There you go. Okay, so it's there. Second and last thing we have is Paper Mario.
Oh yeah, Origami King.
Yes,
It's,
this looks really good.
I don't know. I don't know if they're bringing back the characters from Super Paper Mario, but if they are, I'm really excited because that game
That
was
was your favorite
fire
one.
and
Yeah.
underrated.
It's really gonna be here this year.
Yeah, June or July. Sorry.
Damn, July. Yeah, so like 2 months. But yeah, that they revealed it, and I'm glad they went in this direction. It makes sense to go from paper to origami.
It's also it's kind of like what Kirby kind of did it with like they went from
The
paint
yarn?
to clay.
Oh,
Oh, they went paint clay or the yarn paint clay. Yoshi did like the wool. They're just trying to
Yeah.
like stylize stuff, and I like it. It's
I
cute.
appreciate it. Yeah.
The wool yarn Yoshi is actually adorable though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wish. Wait, is that a plush? Anything with
Oh, I think so.
yarn Yoshi?
It's an amiibo, but people definitely. I mean,
Go on
are they?
Etsy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, plush. Okay, I'll find it later. That was that, and then I guess this is to connect to the topic, sort of. It's video game related as well. It's the reveal for Unreal Engine 5.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Because that happened the day after as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's kind of epic.
That looks so good.
So that was revealed, and I think we briefly talked about it. How like everything looked smooth.
I don't think we talked about it at all.
We
It
did.
was like
No,
I
not on the
don't know.
podcast. I mean,
Oh, together. Yeah.
yeah, like
Well,
when
not
it
even that
released.
much. But like, yeah, the fact that the gameplay parts looked better than the cinematics
Exactly.
it was honestly incredible.
I still can't get over that. Like my least favorite part was just the flying in the air.
The cinematic, because that cinematic was like rendered at like 30 FPS, and the rest of the game was playing at like 10,000. And it was actually insane to watch.
I mean, if they rendered it like better, it would all look amazing. But
Yeah, I mean, when your cinematic is the worst looking part of your engine,
that's pretty good.
I'm okay with that. I'll
Yeah,
let
no,
that
it's
slide,
pretty good.
dude. I'll let that slide.
I want to play through more cutscenes.
I wish that they would make that a game, like actually.
Yeah, that one
It looked
looked cool,
interesting.
but they might take like parts of it and make it into a game. But
Prince of Persia.
I doubt it, considering it's just a demo.
no, I don't doubt it because a lot of demos have been taken and made into games. Like parts of them have influenced like other games that came after them. I forget, like things from the tech demo, like the Mario 128, became uh uh Mario Sunshine and like went into Mario Galaxy.
That's the inspiration.
Yeah, there was things from that tech demo that were taken out of that and put into those games.
Oh,
So I'm saying like there's going to be parts of this that
Oh,
are put
okay.
into like a game in the future.
yeah. So it's
I
it won't... Go
no,
ahead.
go on.
Oh.
Go Dan.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, it's like if it would be fitting that they would make something at least that is inspired by either gameplay or something story related to from the demo, just because it was really good.
At the
And
very least, gameplay from this will be taken and used.
Yeah, because it was received very well. I don't see why they wouldn't take something from it.
Yeah.
I don't know why my LEDs are not on.
Yeah.
It felt so blank for a second. All right. So I think that is it for news.
Yeah.
And so let's go on to the topic. Are we going down the list?
sense.
Yeah. Because then
Okay.
Patty and that works. Because then they
Okay.
can.
Do you want to
start.
reintroduce how we're going to format this, or just...
Okay. So again, we're talking about deaths in games and well, good and bad deaths in video games, and what makes a good one, why that was good, what made it bad, yada yada. There's really no like besides it being a game, that's the only thing that's like stopping you. I guess we're gonna start with good deaths because everybody has one of those, and not all of us have bad
Yeah.
ones. So yeah, Patty, you can start.
All
Take it
right.
away, Petty.
All right. So I don't want to call it good death because it made me cry. Honestly, the first time I saw it.
Well written.
It's very extremely well written, well executed death was Roland from Borderlands 2. It's like right after you you get the vault key that you've literally been like the entire story has been building up to getting this, and then you find out that Angel, who's been like your companion throughout the entire game, who is actually working for Handsome Jack, is an actual person and is a siren, and you go through like this entire battle where you have to like sacrifice her to get the key to stop Handsome Jack, and like immediately after you all finish, it goes to a cutscene, and all you see is Roland in front of you, and then Handsome Jack literally teleports behind Roland and just shoots him straight through the chest. And it's just like this frame where he's just standing there staring at you, and then he just looks down at the bullet hole that's now in him, and he just collapses in front of you. And then I think like afterwards, Handsome Jack he kidnaps Lilith. He takes the vault key, and you get like basically sent back to Sanctuary. And it's just like the huge turning point in the story.
That man sounds like an asshole.
I mean,
Yeah,
Handsome Jack is like one of the greatest video game villains of all time.
actually, because I also like how at that point there's a whole tone shift in how Jack interacts with you. Like at first it's like jokingly like, oh, he's calling you a piece of shit, this, fuck you that. And at that point it's just like he just stops like joking around. It's like it's all serious at that point. He's like, you killed my daughter, I killed your friend, fuck you.
You've minorly inconvenienced him up to that point where now you've actually hurt him. And Handsome Jack being Handsome Jack, he's going to go an extra step beyond whatever you did and make you hurt worse.
Exactly.
So he kills the person closest to you, like literally your leader, the guy who's basically the man who's guided you through this entire story, and he just takes him away from you.
Not only that, like I don't know if you personally played it, and I haven't either, but for people who did play the original Borderlands, like this is one of the characters that you played as. Like
yeah,
this
he's a playable character in Borderlands 1.
And they flushed him out as an actual character, and it's like this is like for people who play that game, like this is like a holy shit, like I played as this guy.
I did. I played as Roland, and then he got murdered in front of my eyes. It was really sad.
He did.
He was dead. Yeah.
And also,
I
go
was
on.
going to, but the last DLC that came out, Tiny Tina's Attack on Dragon's Keep, there's like this whole back plot to the game of Tiny Tina, who literally looked up to Roland as like I would say, I don't know if I would say like
It's
a father figure or like an older brother figure. I would go like father figure because he like basically kept her safe like all the time. Like he was always there for her, and it's like her like accepting the fact that he's gone and that he's dead, and it's like so incredibly like emotional and well written that it like even when he's dead, his death like after the fact, his death still makes you like you still feel it through all the other characters and like how they're dealing with his death. Like it just amplifies just how much he meant to everyone in Borderlands. Like even to the point where after you've beat the mission where he dies, there's like a side quest that you can do to go around and talk to all the other main characters in Sanctuary and like let them know individually that Roland died, and you hear it from every single person's point of view just how much he meant to them. And he was like one of the most important characters in the story.
Damn, bro, that's deep.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
and
It's really deep. It's so good.
I mean, recently I watched like a video on like why Borderlands 3 sucks. And the one good thing the
Yes.
guy had to say was that like there's a memorial that they made for
Yeah,
Roland, and like there's like writing on it like from all the characters saying like, oh, it's such a good like we're gonna miss you forever and all that. And he's like, this is like the best way that they could have like remember this character and
Yeah.
like showed him some respect.
because you see the statue in the credits for Borderlands 2. They show off the statue in just like a drawing, but then like for them to like actually like make it real and put it down, and they added because in the game it's just a statue. There's none of that writing is there. And they like added in all the little writings from all the characters.
It was pretty good. All right, is that it for you?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, Lenny,
We're only doing one, right?
one
Yeah,
good right now.
Good
Yes.
one.
One good one. Okay. I was kind of stuck on this one, and I decided to challenge myself by only picking Halo Reach, which doesn't have a great story.
Ugh.
But I prefer George's death over all the other ones.
Was George the big man that threw you at the ship?
Yeah,
Okay.
his I felt like was more heartfelt because George was, without looking at him for too much, he looks like the kind of guy that would like throw you out a window just for taking a bite of his sandwich. But like as the story fleshes out, it's like, man, this guy could be a father and have 2 kids and be the best dad ever. That's why I felt like, it was a lot more personal when he looked at you and said, well, good news and bad news. I could throw out the ship and you may survive. But I have
Or
to
we could
stop
stay in the ship and we both die.
basically. And he just said, I'll just, start the nuke to destroy this Covenant fleet rather than, having to let 2 people die for this. Personally, I think George was a great character and a great support for like Noble team as a whole, which is why I feel like his death was very, influential to the game. Because after that, after that specific mission, you were like sent to a planet, I forgot what it was called, but basically you were like the only Spartan, like in that AO. And you had to fight through like half an army of Covenant just so you can get back with your team.
But you end up fucking dying anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You end up dying. Well, almost everyone dies in that game, but still.
Yeah, they do. That whole squad dies.
No, except for Jun. Jun doesn't die. He's the only survivor.
Useless.
He was a sniper. Of course he had to be the only survivor. But yeah, that was my one death. It wasn't a lot, but I just felt like out of all the Halo Reach stuff, I feel like his was the most important.
Yeah, could understand that. Is it my turn now?
It is
Or
Brandon's turn.
It's Brandon,
yeah.
so.
I exist, Jack.
no?
Got him.
I was more just confused because how he introduced everybody. That's sorry.
No, it's okay. I was joking.
No, I know you were.
So mine comes from Modern Warfare 3. Both of them do actually, because it took a little time to think. But a good death that I thought was Makarov, basically the main baddie of that game, that you get to fucking
Of which
kill
one?
and hang. Modern Warfare 3.
Okay, buddy.
Yes.
I didn't.
I was gonna say
Oh, I
Well,
remember
was
it
a
You
now.
literally get to hang him. That's the best feeling
Dude.
ever.
Oh
Yeah.
That
You
was a
fall
nice
through
scene.
the
I won't
glass
lie.
ceiling.
You literally fall through a skylight
Oh,
from
like
like
what's his
a
name? Like
10-story
what's his name
building.
from Tarzan?
Yeah, you guys fall down, and you
I
literally get to
remember
hang
now.
him.
It's so good.
It's just only good to see
Like it was
him.
the most rewarding death ever because you get to see his
Yeah.
body flail.
Yeah, he just
And then,
yeah.
and then
there's-
literally your character, you play as Price during that mission. You literally light a cigar and you just watch his body. Like that was literally the best, one of the best
It-
endings ever.
Yeah. I played that campaign with my father when that game first came out. And I remember doing that campaign so much well. I thought it was interesting.
Your dad tell you to look away?
No. How long ago did that game come out?
7 years? No, probably more. Probably more than 10.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was when we were, I think, middle school.
2011.
Oh, so it's only been 9 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That was a long time since the last time I played that game.
Wasn't Modern Warfare 2 like the same time as well?
No, that would have been 2 years ago. That would have been 2009.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think so.
Yeah.
This Black Ops 1 would have come out in between. Yeah. It's 2009.
Yeah, that was definitely a good death for me, without a doubt.
I forgot that
'Cause,
you hung him.
dude, literally, it's because he was the main reason why Price lost his whole team, basically.
Everybody died.
Literally, even the new guy died.
Honestly, who didn't die?
Soap didn't have to die,
Nikolai.
but freaking you. Nah, I'm not gonna get into it.
He had to die. He didn't have plot armor.
He didn't have enough plot armor.
He didn't buy plot armor at the beginning. He said, "We got this as an eco round."
For basically three straight Modern Warfares, he was the low key and then high key protagonist.
Antagonist, not
Antagonist.
Protagonist would have been he was the main character, isn't the good guy. He was not the good guy. He dropped a nuke. He's not the good guy.
He did drop a nuke.
I
He
don't
dropped the
remember
nuke.
him dropping a nuke.
Remember in
It's
Modern
two.
Warfare?
Martha won.
I thought it was
did you
two.
play Modern Warfare, Jack?
Yeah.
No,
I
doesn't
just
he drop
haven't
the nuke
played
in
that
two?
game in such a long time.
No, Price's launches a missile from a sub. I think that's what you're thinking about.
Well, the thing is, in Modern Warfare 3, there's a cutscene where you're Yuri, right?
Yeah, you're Yuri with Makarov.
Yuri
and
was there when Makarov shot off that nuke.
when he nuked
Oh,
was it
that's what
Afghan?
I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the cutscene. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think then it was Modern Warfare 1. I was thinking of the cutscene where you see it, when you see Makarov just do it.
Okay.
Killed everybody.
He did, and then he went to an airport and he
Yep,
slaughtered
and gunned down
civilians.
everyone.
They slaughtered civilians. That was a scene.
God, dude.
My sisters played that part, and then they told me to take the range afterwards.
And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you're living under a cave because even news articles did it.
I forget what channel does it, but they do this thing called Marines React, where they have these two
Yeah,
older
I've
U.S.
seen that.
Marines, and they had them watch the No Russian and the favela missions. And as soon as No Russian starts, you can see both of them just do like a double take. Just like, wow, that's
They for real did that?
It's really
a
funny.
video game.
Like
There's
they
also-
really the developers wanted to do this?
Also, because something else I learned is that the guy you play during No Russian is a PFC, which is apparently one of the lowest ranks there is, as in that guy would have been 18 to 21 years old.
I
Oh.
think like that's the second lowest.
Yeah, it's an extremely low
Um,
rank.
Private
also-
first class, I believe.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, private first class. It's like one of the lowest ranks in the army. And he was on a deep undercover mission with a Russian terrorist group committing a war crime at like probably 19 or
And
20.
then we found out that was Yuri.
It just doesn't.
What?
It's so funny.
No, we found out Yuri was like beaten up and shot under the airport.
Yeah, that was
Yuri-
Yuri. Yuri was the dude undercover.
No.
No, Yuri was
Yeah, no,
before.
I thought Yuri was one of
No, it
them.
was
No, Yuri was actually one of them, but then he found out that he was leaking information. So
Yeah.
Makarov shot him under the airport. The guy that we played as during No Russian was a former Marine or Army soldier that turned into a CIA agent.
Okay, that's where I got.
Yeah, he was killed right at the exit. But after
Yeah.
they left, they went down into or was it at the beginning of the mission? That Yuri
In
gets
Modern
shot.
Warfare,
It's before
Modern
the
Warfare
mission.
3, it's a cutscene of Yuri
Yeah.
getting shot. Like,
It's like you're about
before
to
they get into
leave,
the
but then
elevator.
Makarov. Yeah.
No, it's before they get in the elevator. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
before they start. They kill Yuri. And then
Well, they
after
shoot
they
Yuri.
finish, they shoot Yuri. They don't kill Yuri. But after they finish, then they kill the guy
Yeah,
that you play as.
that was no message.
No mercy.
This
This was the message.
is the
Okay.
message.
I tried to run
Oh.
away at that moment. It was funny.
Oh god, dude.
So is that all we're gonna do for that one?
No, I did not know most of that information.
I think that's
I
that's
did not
fuck
either.
Makarov. Yeah, Makarov's he's a pretty terrible person.
He's an asshole.
And he died in an insanely epic way. Crashing through the skylight of
Getting hugged.
of a massive
Hung by, like,
skyscraper.
metal, like,
Yeah, with like a steel wire around his neck. And
it
he
wasn't
just hangs
touching.
there. I love how Price does at the end. He's just standing there like bleeding, cut up,
It
like,
just pops his
barely
cigar out
alive,
and
and he's
just
just
smokes
like
it.
pulls a cigar out, and is just like, "Yep,
Yep.
I did that.
Mission
this is what I
over.
needed right now."
Uh,
Okay, that's it for mine.
Okay, Jack.
I
Now it's
refrain.
your turn.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Mine's Shepard from Modern Warfare 2. Like you don't realize that he's a bad guy until the very end. Like he plays this like very kind of nice person in the beginning where he's teaching you how to shoot and everything. And his most famous line isn't the one where he's switching to your secondaries faster than reloading. Isn't that Shepard's line?
Probably
No, I think that's
because he was there at the
that's
shooting
just the
range.
instructor.
yeah, that's just the instructor, or isn't
Oh.
that
Yeah.
Price?
No, I think it might be Shepard. Because
No, that would have
Shepard's
been during one of the training missions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's talking
Oh,
about the
this
training
guy?
mission Modern Warfare 2. I thought
Yeah.
that was a training
It's
instructor.
just like
that was...
an instructor, or I think it's either instructor or
Yeah.
just Price.
Shepard was looking over the training just so he
Yeah,
can,
he stands there when you walk in.
and then you can
Um,
shoot him, but then the game doesn't let you.
Yeah,
You get an achievement
Mission
for it
failed.
in the remastered. Yeah, I had an achievement. I forget what it's called, but it was really funny.
It's like knowing he's a villain before something.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but you get an achievement. It's just really funny.
Yeah. I just found the ending very cool where you're fighting with Price, right? It's with
Yeah.
Price and Soap.
yeah,
is
you're
the
with
one-
him.
You are Soap.
Yeah, you're Soap, and he's beating up Price, right?
Yeah, he murders
Mhm,
Ghost.
he kills him.
Yeah.
No,
and
no,
then
not Price.
Soap.
Whoever you're not playing as.
Because it goes into as soon as Modern Warfare 2 ends, it goes into Modern Warfare 3,
Yes,
Shepard
that's where Jack
where-
is correct.
Or
where it picks up right
Those
from
most
the
correct
end.
things Jack has said.
I like how you have to fight him at the end, and you see the map reveal of Russ as well, and you throw a knife at his eye.
I like how
Like-
you just fought two.
I never played the game, but I've seen my brother play it, and it was very satisfying.
Yeah,
You're
he's-
you're saying, Lenny?
I was gonna say, and that general fought off, two active military members. I'm not gonna lie. Shepard is kind of just out there throwing hands against two armed people.
he's just a maniac.
Maniac.
Thank you.
On
gonna-
the floor.
All right. Jack, is that it for yours?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So my death that actually was done well was Zack Fair from Final Fantasy VII, specifically Crisis Core, because so Z- Zack is like he's like kind of Cloud's mentor and like friend who he ends up like Zack pretty much throws away his whole life to protect Cloud. And the way that he dies is he literally is one man holding down a whole army of people who are out to get them both. And it's just you're playing through the fight, so you're just having like unit after unit after you until you get to a point where like there's 3 left and Zack is like on his like you're not barely able to control the guy at this point. Like he's limping around, he's barely able to swing his sword. And you get like you keep on getting shot, and there's finally a point where you just like get shot, and it switches to a cutscene where the guys just keep on shooting you, and the guy just falls. And the other thing during the fight, throughout the game, there's a system called the DMW, or the digital mind wave. So pretty much like as you remember people, you get buffs or you level up. And as he's fighting, he's like slowly forgetting all his memories. So like he'll like flash like through the fight, you're just like flashing through your memories, and they're actually like deteriorating, and you're forgetting people and like
Oh, okay.
that you like you've grown to love throughout the story, like Zack's mentor, Aerith, who you find out that like Zack is Aerith's first love that she references throughout the the original game. And other people who mentored him, friends that he had in Soldier, and just like him dying like that way, like fighting, showing how like strong he was and how he almost made it through. Like the fact that you're fighting through it and you're like, wait, he almost made it. Like you already know how it's gonna end, but the fact that you're like, wait, even though like he got so close, and that's what made it all the more like tragic. And in the end, he's passing. So the sword that he has is also passed down from his mentor, and the fact that it's like lineage through that. He passes on his sword to Cloud, who is kind of his mentor, his friend, and it's like this line of progression through like this one sword has been passed down through like a whole line of soldiers, but also like friends and almost like brothers at that point. Yeah, I don't know, Lenny, if you have anything else to say about that.
No, you covered about everything I think I can think of.
It was just really sad at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And now Final Fantasy VII Remake is ruining that by retconning his death.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he's not dead.
They literally just said, "Hey, we can change time and space. So now there's a chance he might not be dead."
Oh,
Good thing I've never had any games like that, because that would just be a bummer if they revived those already
I mean,
dead
it's not
characters.
a bummer. It's just that like it's just
you can
weird,
handle
and
it
I
in a
don't
different way.
Like, they already served their purpose. They don't need to come
yeah,
back.
but at the same time, Zack is just a better Cloud. So it's like,
Oh.
yeah, would I prefer to be Zack in the next game? Yes, but he's dead, and like it works, and Cloud can become a better character because Zack is dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like part of me is like I'm torn about it, because like part of me is like, no,
Ah.
he needs to be dead. The other part of me is like, wait, but like Cloud doesn't need to exist if he is. And that's even better. Okay, that's really it for mine.
Oh, I'm next. Okay. I thought we had someone else like
Best
left.
for last.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I don't know if anybody gonna play Spider-Man PS4.
I haven't finished it, but I don't
That's
care.
Oh, I know who he's gonna bring up.
I haven't played it, but I haven't played it in like yeah, I forgot since when, but I haven't played it in a while. But the last time I played it, there was like the hardest mode, and I was trying to get everything 100% everything, like how I always end up doing. But like every time I go through a playthrough, I always end up crying because like you're not given the choice to be like to press a button like to do this or do that, but like it almost feels like if you could, would you press a button to save a life, one person's life instead of other millions of other people's? Because in the game, the you start off as Spider-Man normally, how like he's doing his business, and then through like the middle you find out that the like Oscorp is working like on a it was supposed to be like a cure for something, but it was manufactured to be it could have been toxic, it could have been saved lives, but it ended up being toxic by accident. And Doc Ock releases the toxin in New York, and everybody starts getting sick, and like it kind of like you're battling towards the end, like fighting off like prisoners who are escaping prison, or like who've escaped the prison you were at like a few missions before. You're also trying to prevent other villains, other gangs from like ripping the city apart. And like as your final mission, you're supposed to fight your mentor, your friend, you're kind of basically like a father figure, Doc Ock, because his mind, kind of deteriorated after attaching himself to the metal arms, and you kind of helped build the metal arms. And so he's only going on this mission, only doing these bad things because he hates Norman Osborn, and he wants to make him look bad.
Yep.
And so like that's his whole intention, and he basically has the serum, the cure, in like a little bottle, and he threatens to like break it or something like that. And then Peter in like new armor goes after him. This is like the last mission, and you finally defeat him, and he goes to prison, but you have the serum. And like as you're going on being Spider-Man for like hours and hours, like towards the final missions, you learn that Aunt May gets sick. Like at this point, she's been like helping other people at her job, but she ends up getting sick and like really ill. And so
Like deathbed ill.
yeah. And by the end of it, like I said, if you could make the choice between saving one life or saving the other, like it's an interesting kind of perspective for a very grown up Spider-Man. And like that scene always gets me. And like I've played it like 3 times or 4 times maybe. And like it always gets me that like
Dude, it's upsetting.
the music,
it's
the acting,
emotional.
it's emotional. That like Peter Parker kind of grabs the serum and is about to like inject it into Aunt May, and he's struggling. He's like shaking his hand, and he's like tearing up, and he's kind of forcing himself to do it, but he can't in the end because he's like the serum ends up saving
Everyone else.
whoever got
The
infected.
whole state of New York.
Isn't that also the point where like she like comes out like, "Hey, I know you're Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Like he's pretending to be like, "Hey, ma'am, everything's gonna be okay," but it's like you don't have to do that. And like you don't have to play around. I know who you are. Like I want to see my nephew, and I want to see him with my own eyes. I want to see you. I'm proud of you, kind of thing, which makes it more emotional. And then like I think that was handled well. I think previous versions of Aunt May have been very like old lady, very like weak,
Just
and then
vulnerable.
always vulnerable, always getting captured, always this and that.
She
And
was always
this
really
version,
old. Like they made her real old.
like 80 something.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
can't
like-
we can't have Tom Holland on May
Marissa
all the time.
Tomei. Yeah. And like
Sheesh.
that version, this version in the game, she expand. She expanded, and you can see that in her work helping like homeless people. She expanded of not just being like, I'm this old lady. I'm like, she actually has done a lot of work, and she's impacted a lot of people. And at the end of the game, if you go back to the
The tombstone.
no, well that too, but I
Oh.
meant where you go back to the place where she worked.
Oh, the homeless shelter.
Homeless shelter.
Yeah, she's kind of remembered, and you I think you talked to a bunch of people, and she's like, you get the sense of like, everybody really loved her there, and like and like even there's one character like that you save early on as Spider-Man goes to that homeless shelter, and you kind of like keep up with her throughout the game, and by the end of it, she kind of thanks Aunt May for like helping her like find a job, get her off the streets, kind of like slowly helping her, and you can see that it impacted everybody who was working there and everybody who was living at the homeless shelter. It's kind of powerful that like he had to make that decision. In fact, he kind of like persuaded him a little bit, like like it's okay, you can let me die, kind of thing. But it's still very emotional.
I feel like it's interesting that you would say like, oh, if you were given a choice, because I feel like even if you were, like,
Yeah, yeah.
in the
I don't
game,
know if
like
you
they
would.
still wouldn't let you though. I feel like
Yeah.
Aunt May would just be like, I swear to God, if you do that, I will kill you.
I would get out of this bed.
Yeah, I don't know. I said that because like it's sort of like it's because of this version of Spider-Man, because it's more adult, more grown up version of Spider-Man that we've seen prior. I mean, we've seen the adult Spider-Man in the comic books, but like it just kind of felt more modern, more impactful the way they kind of made it an original story, and they were like, I know Uncle Ben dies, but how about we kill Aunt May too? But like they did it in a good way that like it felt fitting. It felt like it impacted both the
It
story and the characters.
Yeah, impacted it in the right way though. It didn't
Yeah.
just like do it to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was really cool.
Is that it?
But like, yeah.
Okay, so speaking about doing it to do it, Patty.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get down to business. Quite possibly the worst death in a video game possibly ever is Maya from Borderlands 3.
Oh, buddy.
My God, where to begin? All right, first off, so they bring Ava, or not Ava, hold on, they bring Maya back. All right, fan favorite playable character in Borderlands 2. They flesh her as a full character. You get to see where she came from, what kind of place was it. You get to learn more. You get to experience a bunch of missions with her. She's like really prevalent in the story up until she dies. Unfortunately, she has to bring along probably the worst character ever written in anything ever, her apprentice Ava, who
This
is
little
like
shit.
an edgy little 13-year-old who refuses to listen to Maya because she's so
anybody.
confident, to anybody actually, because she's like, she believes that she can do anything. She thinks
Because she's gonna be a
invincible.
siren.
Well, she doesn't know that. That's not a thing that she even knows. She never knows that. Also, she's just super cocky just to be that way. God, where else is there to go with her? I've lost my train of thought. God damn it.
Even the side quest
Shit.
with her is just like,
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
finding her
That's
diary.
So there's a side quest for her where you have to go back to the planet that you found her on, and you have to like go and find a bunch of her stuff that she left back. But the one thing that you can't find is her diary, which was stolen by one of the bad guys, and he's just reading it out over like the radio to all the other guys, and he's just doing nothing but making fun of her. And this is her entire backstory being explained to us by some clown named Private Beans, who's a midget with a big head, by the way. He's a tiny little dude with a massive head. And his name's Private Beans, and he's reading it out. Like, he's reading out her diary pages mockingly, and then after he finishes reading a page, he'll, like, make a joke about it and laugh at her. And she's just there, like, floundering like an idiot, like just making up excuses, like saying things. It's just a poem about boys and politics. None of it's real. It's not real. This isn't my extremely depressing, sad life being read out to everybody. And then you get to the mission where Maya dies, which is where you killed the first oh wait, no, before that, Maya also has to explain to you. Well, actually, she doesn't explain to you. She just tells you that Ava is going to be a siren, which has never been how siren powers have worked. Siren powers are kind of like the Force, where they're used for plot convenience and they're never actually explained, except for the fact that there was one rule, which is that only 6 sirens could exist in the known universe at any given time, but Borderlands 3 also breaks this rule. The only existing rule, they add a 7th, which I guess can kind of make sense because the 7th was a parasite, like the 6th and the 7th were twins, and the 7th was technically a parasite, so I guess he wasn't like supposed to happen, but somehow he managed to happen, because it's explained like they were like literally attached at birth, like physically, which is just weird, but
At birth?
yeah, when they were born.
Well, they're what's it called?
Yeah,
It's
but
like the conjoined
like
twins
the-
Yeah,
almost.
Oh,
conjoined.
okay.
Yeah. And
I was thinking about something else.
yeah, so there's just, yeah, it's terrible, and there's no explanation. She doesn't, and all she says is that she just knows that she doesn't be a siren. Know how? The only way siren powers are passed down is by death. Just keep that in mind. And so that happens. Makes no sense. We move on. They just completely ignore that. The point is made. It's not explained, and then they just immediately move on from it, which is great. You'll love to see it. And then we finally get to the mission where Maya is died. And so so you get to a vault. That's the mission. A vault, which is like ancient alien technology, where like tons of like weird technology is hidden and stored away. You know, extremely powerful monsters that have obviously sick, epic loot. Because, you know, that's all we care about in Borderlands is really cool guns.
Yeah, legendaries.
Yeah, legendaries. And so you kill the Vault Monster, and then come in the main bad guys, the Calypso twins. And now, these two, they're both sirens, and Tyreen, who's the main one, her siren power, I don't know what it's called specifically, some of them have names, but she can basically absorb life force, like, through a being. Like, if she can just like grab onto them and just like literally suck the life out of them.
That sounds like Rogue from X-Men.
Or Cell
it-
from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, something like that. And
Dan, is it Rogue who can?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one with the little white streak in the hair.
Yeah.
That's her.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just
yes.
wanted to
that's
make
that's
sure. I was
Majin
right.
Buu.
Yeah, no, that's good, dude. Because then other people can understand. But her
That's
brother, Troy, who was the parasite, he was the parasite. She was the one that was the normal one. He doesn't technically have any specific powers, but to stay alive, he has to leech off of Tyreen's powers that she absorbs. So she, in part, gives some of her powers to him. And without knowing this, after you kill the Vault Monster with Maya, Ava, who wasn't supposed to come, who was specifically told to not come, appears. Because of course she did, because why would she ever listen? Because she's stupid. And she starts arguing with Maya that she's obviously ready, you know, being like 12 and having zero experience in anything ever. She said she's perfectly ready, can do anything that she wants, doesn't need Maya there to protect her. And then the Calypsos appear, and Ava just starts yelling at them, you know, calling them names, or like just trying to bully them, but it's like, you can tell that like they don't take her seriously at all, because, you know, she's a stupid little kid that nobody likes. And so after she like runs at them to try and fight them, they just kind of like knock her out of, like, Tyreen literally just like basically force pushes her out of the way and just punches her in the face. And then Maya tries, or she grabs onto Troy to basically as like a bargaining chip, because Tyreen's got Ava. So Maya takes Troy, and she's got Troy like by the neck, and Troy's just holding on to her, and just all of a sudden he just sucks the life out of Maya, like Tyreen does to everything else. Like, he doesn't even, and he's surprised by this fact. He had no idea that he could do that. These two didn't understand that the powers that Tyreen shares with Troy, he also gets. And so he just completely accidentally kills Maya off. Just like that. Because Ava couldn't keep her mouth
you
shut
can.
and listen. and they just accidentally murdered like one of the fan favorite characters. And my god, it could not have been done any worse, because after the fact, literally until like the end of the story, like that's extremely, like she dies early on. She dies in like the first act. There's like, I guess you could say like 4 acts to it. She dies in the first. And for the next 3 acts, Ava will blame literally everyone else. Like she'll just start yelling at people. She is, Lilith especially, who's like your leader. She'll just yell at her,
Who
blaming
also
her.
lost her siren powers. Like,
Who
very
also
early
lost
on.
her, who also loses her siren powers, right? And Ava will yell at her, blame her for it. It's all her fault, even though Lilith literally wasn't there when it happened. It was Ava who got her killed.
You were the leader.
It's just like, and then it's just like that after the fact, that even after Ava gets her master killed, she blames everyone else for it. It's literally them just like pissing on the grave. Like they just disrespected the characters so much. And then at the very end, Ava gets Maya's siren powers, and then Lilith leaves Sanctuary, which is now a ship. She leaves everything to Ava at the end.
Just she goes off on a suicide.
Yeah,
And-
she suicides to save the planet Pandora, which is like where they're all from, and leaves everything to the character that got Maya killed. And like just the worst character in the entire game. It's so bad. There's just so much disrespect to one character that everybody loved. Oh
And, like,
god.
And like, even though like I haven't played the game, but like I watched someone talk about why it's so bad, and even just that is enough to like show like,
Yeah,
okay,
there's like hour-long videos. It's on average, like if you want to watch a video about why Borderlands 3 is bad, it's like minimum an hour.
I mean, to be fair,
For the
there is a lot to talk about,
But yeah, nothing's good in the story.
but not even that. It's just like it's a big game.
Yeah,
Like to be fair, but it's just not good.
yeah, it's really unfortunate.
So they just did it because whatever.
There's no reason. There's no reason.
one-
I
There's
think they
nothing-
literally said, "Hey, like Roland's death was impactful. Maybe this will work." But like the way they did it was just so stupid and like just
like
this
a
makes
more
no
impactful
sense.
death in that same story is Lilith's. Like you finally beat Tyreen and Troy. They're both dead, but they were still able to activate. So like Pandora, which is the planet where they're all from, and like the main planet, it's like where Borderlands 2 and 1 take place. It has a moon, and that moon was a vault key to Pandora. Like the entire planet of Pandora it's called the Great Vault. It like holds the most powerful monster in like the known universe. And Tyreen unleashes it, and like you beat her, but Lilith sacrifices herself to destroy the moon, to keep the moon from destroying the planet. Which like it means a lot. It's like Lilith cared so much about everyone that she was willing to sacrifice herself to save the entire planet. And it's even at the end, like once after like you see her like go into the moon and destroy it, like the Firehawk emblem, like her emblem is emblazoned into the moon. Like it's the entire thing. It's huge. And so it's like always there as like a reminder. And it's like it's decent, like that scene is just decently well done, but they had to start it off with her leaving everything to Ava. So I don't know. It's a mess.
I mean, I think the biggest problem with it is just that like Ava she's not a character that ever takes responsibility, and I think that's what makes it so annoying. It's just
She
that,
never
like,
takes responsibility for her actions, which cause like significant harm, and she gets to reap all the rewards.
it's honestly just like a fuck you to everybody.
Like she gets Maya killed, and then at the end she gets Maya's powers, and then Lilith has to sacrifice herself to save the planet, and so she leaves the ship, and all of the Crimson Raiders, which is like the I guess the army that they have, like their group, she leaves all of that to her. It's like she did nothing and got everything. Actually, she did more than nothing because she did bad things. Got people
she was
killed.
a detriment to the whole fucking.
Yeah,
group.
she was a detriment to your crew, and she got everything at the end. It's a yikes.
Big yikes.
Yeah, I think now that's it. It's
Are you
such a
sure,
mess.
Patty?
I think maybe I don't know. I'll probably remember something else that just makes her death even worse.
So I guess next is Lenny.
Oh god, how am I supposed to follow up after that one? So my next one will need a little bit of context, I guess. The mission starts off with you having to like clear out a bunch of buildings filled with Covenant. And as you go through each building, there's more and more Covenant. There's strong Covenant, it starts off with Grunstein, There's elites, then there's, I forget what they're called, but they have a sword shield on one hand and then a gun arm on the other. The mission is hectic, but that mission also is like really bad and glitchy. So the mission itself is pretty terrible. Other than the fact there's one Easter egg where you can like forego killing anything and just have a rave instead. That's like one building and you have to find like either 1 or 3 buttons for you to activate it. But at the end of the mission specifically, you're basically running to get extracted, and a character named Kat, the only female in your squad, who also is the only one with a cybernetic arm, and I want to say is somewhat of a vital role, but isn't like, the greatest character of all of them. I'll say she probably has done more than Jun, comparably. But like, when they did this, I felt like it was very lazy, because the way they did her death was you were running next to her, but then out of nowhere, she just took a bullet to the head by a Jackal sniper, and then she just falls over and dies.
So they just straight up.
She's
shot
just
her in
dead.
the head. They just
Shot in the
her
back of the head.
Like
you
not
know,
even like was the sniper at least like a bad guy, like a character that like you knew?
Yeah,
or
it was a
just,
bad. It was
It was
just
like-
no. It was a random Jackal.
It was just like a random grunt. It
It was-
wasn't like
it was just-
Makarov,
No,
like sniped somebody. It was just some random.
It was a Jackal. It was the second weakest enemy in the game.
Mm.
It was just a Jackal sniper.
Hmm.
And I would have not complained that much, other than the fact that they're Spartans and they should have energy shields. But I guess we could just forgo that, because what's a headshot when you have an energy shield and a helmet?
Tis but a flesh wound.
Yeah. What Dan said.
Yeah. It's not much.
Actually, it's what Patty said.
Well, you said it this time.
But basically that's it. It's just like a death that like either could have been done better or just not at all. Because everyone else had like a death that was either purposeful or like reasonable. Because I
It
would
made
say,
sense.
yeah, Emil was like one of the last few members to die right before you did, because he was just you and him were like protecting the one like vessel that was carrying Master Chief, which is why Halo Reach is like even plot related. But Emil is basically ripped out of the anti-air gun, and he's just fights off 2 elites, and I feel like that's the only reason why he was like not the worst death, was because he was still swinging after he took a sword to the chest. But Kat was like not given a chance. She was just shot in the head and she fell over.
That's pretty dumb.
God, yeah, that's just.
So
I
I
can't
guess-
believe it's out of nowhere. That's what's
Like,
getting
maybe-
me.
Yeah.
when they just do stuff like that, it's like, oh, they're dead just because we said so.
Well,
That's literally what
like,
they're saying.
Shock factor can happen. Like Roland is just dead out of nowhere, but it was
Yeah,
like
but
done
that
by a
makes sense
character
though.
that you know.
It makes sense within like this, like
Yeah.
within the scenario. That just doesn't make sense within the scenario from what Lenny's saying. Like, there's so many factors. Like, she should have had this, she should have had that. She should have just been alive. But instead, they're just like, second weakest character, second weakest enemy type, bam. That's what kills
Random
you.
enemy. He's got a sniper. He's ready to go, dude. Like,
Chocolate sniper. There's like no like direct like enemy. There's like no one that they're like targeting. They're just protecting Reach. So they don't have anyone that they're focusing. They're just like their mission is to kill elites for as long as possible. And then she just gets no scoped by a fucking Jackal. And you shoot at them, but then they just walk away. Because
Bye.
they're snipers. And they're like, okay, we can fuck off now. We killed one. That's all we need to do.
Bye bye.
Yeah, that death specifically was like not entertaining to me.
Kind of trash.
I mean, rightfully so.
I think the only death I didn't talk about, was Noble 6 and Carter. Carter flew himself into a scarab, taking it out and protecting, I believe, a base from being attacked. And Noble 6 was the last Spartan on Reach to die, fighting off hordes of, Covenant. So everyone else had comparably heroic deaths except for Cat.
By comparison, should not be a good indication.
It's kind of trash.
Yeah.
All right, is that it, Lenny?
Yeah, I trust also.
Okay, so Brandon, are you back, Brandon?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Do you have a death that you think is bad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you can start.
I just don't know who to choose because I'm stuck between two. They both come from COD, but I just don't know which one to choose.
Hey, we all have themes.
Oh man, I don't.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
say
got
the
one,
names, and
Dan?
I don't. Well, I'll figure it out.
I mean,
Go ahead,
if
Ben.
you don't have one, you can just.
I'm just gonna go with Modern Warfare 3 again. I like Black Ops 2, but he's kind of pointless. There's no point in saying him. But Modern Warfare 3 is Soap. I just think that was a bad death, in my opinion. I just think he didn't have to die. Honestly, it was all
Forget how
Yuri's
he
fault
died.
for the reason why he's dead.
How did he die again?
The building they were in, the
Oh,
window,
okay. Yep, I remember. now.
Makarov booby trapped it, and Soap literally pushed Yuri out the window, and then Soap got most of the damage.
I just remember when you said building, I'm like, oh, that was that guy. Oh,
And then he was bleeding out throughout the whole time. He was getting dragged around like the 10 blocks he were going through. Not even 10 blocks. It was more like 20.
15. Oh,
And he bled out on the table.
I remember my brother was upset because he liked Soap. Like the only name that like I heard Carlos or my brother say when they were playing the game or Call of Duty in general, they would say Soap, and I'm like, that's a cool name, but I don't know who that is because I never played him.
Soap McTavish.
And then
Soap is just a nice name.
I saw either my brother
Pretty
or
cute.
I saw it online how he died.
We might see him in the next battle pass, maybe. We don't know.
That's if so, I can get it without spending money. You got anything else to say?
It's just, I mean,
Did it
people that
upset
play
you?
Modern Warfare 3, they know. Like, he didn't have to die. Like, he shouldn't have, but it was all Yuri's fault because Yuri was a spy.
Double
Well, he
agent,
was, but he wasn't a
technically.
spy.
Yeah.
So triple agent.
Yeah,
No, at the time working with Makarov, he was a double agent.
yeah,
Oh.
because he worked for Makarov to spy on Price and them, but he was also working with Price and them to spy on Makarov. It's weird.
Yeah, and then-
Yuri's an interesting man.
Yeah, and then he got caught and then shot at the bottom of a Russian airport.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
But he didn't die. Yuri never
not
dies.
I mean,
I mean, he did get headshotted by Makarov.
yeah, he got one D.
Okay, well, I guess
Juan.
Yuri died. Was that at the bottom of the airport? I thought he survived that.
He did, but at
Yeah,
the
he
last
did.
mission, him
did.
and Price
Last
and
mission, he got
Yuri,
one D by Makarov.
like,
Oh,
Bum
it was
rushed
Yuri.
him.
I forgot. Yeah, it was Yuri who went with Price.
yeah, they both
Yeah.
got the
I forgot.
Juggernaut suits and
Yeah,
yatted everyone down.
Yeah, the juggernauts with the strikers.
Striker was the most OP shotgun in that game.
Yeah, big facts.
Triple shotgun.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I didn't like his death. The other, yeah,
Who was
Yeah.
the other one?
You say it.
Hudson
I
on
don't tell me
Black
that.
Ops 2.
Oh,
Oh,
He
Wait,
didn't
hold on.
have to die, but what's his face? Ugh, it started with an M. It's not Makarov.
Menendez.
Menendez literally just.
Who was? Oh,
Wait,
who was
say that again?
this? Menendez.
Menendez?
Raul Menendez.
Raul.
He was
I love that guy. That guy's crazy, dude.
yeah. He was
But
psychotic.
it was a figment of his imagination.
And then Hudson, he had a whole family. He didn't have to die.
Well, wait,
He sacrificed himself.
wasn't it because of that one guy who was his name was it Salazar who like betrayed you?
No, and we met.
No, this was before
Yeah, it was Black
the
Ops.
time skip.
Yeah, it was the OG times. It was Mason. No, it was
Yeah,
Woods.
Black Ops 2.
Yeah, Woods, Mason,
it was-
Hudson. Yeah.
It was Woods, and then Hudson strapped in a chair, and then Woods shot Mason, and then Mason's son was there, holding his dead father, while he was unconscious at the time, and then Menendez was interrogating Hudson and Woods, and then he was like, either one of you tell me what I need, or one of you's gonna die, and then Hudson just said, fucking kill me. And then he got his knees blasted off, and he got his throat
Oh.
sliced open.
I cannot remember Hudson for those trying so hard to remember who Hudson is. And now I remember. He was the bald guy. He was the bald
Yeah.
CIA guy. Now I remember. Yeah, that guy was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Kinda
that
cool.
was another dude.
Although I still think my favorite scene from that game is when Salazar walks in after he betrays you.
Okay,
And
he just blasted his head
Mason
off.
just- No, and then Mason just screams, Salazar!
That game was
Probably just because it
dope.
reminds me of Ramirez.
Good old memes.
He was just so random. He was just some like random dude. He was so meaningless, and yet for some reason he was just capable of crippling the entire United States military.
Literally.
Like he
like, what the
took
hell?
everything out by himself just by helping
Menendez.
Though I still think the mission where you play as Menendez and you just go straight psycho.
Oh,
Yo, that shit
Probably the
was so
best mission.
dope. Because
It's
all you
probably
had
ripped
was
through
a
it.
boss.
You had a spaz and a
the
machete,
whole village. Oh, that was a
and
nice
you had
mission.
like super speed and you couldn't die.
Hmm.
It was literally like you were just hacking.
You want crack.
And it was only because who was it that died? Was it like his daughter that died?
His sister.
his sister.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it his
his
sister?
sister.
daughter?
It's his sister.
Oh yeah,
Don't worry,
his,
it
sister,
was
his younger
daughter.
sister got murdered.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, it was
No.
murder because Woods threw a grenade, then it ricocheted into her room.
I thought it was the guy. Wasn't it the guy who was gonna kill
That
Menendez?
was Woods, wasn't it?
No,
I don't
Woods
remember.
Woods wanted revenge for Menendez,
Yeah.
and then Menendez was gonna throw a grenade. Not Menendez. Woods was gonna throw a grenade, but someone would like jumped at Woods like, "No, don't do it," and the grenade
Yeah, that was Mason.
ricocheted and it went into her room.
Yeah, Mason tried to stop the grenade and it like curved it wrong. They went into the room. I remember now.
Oh yeah.
Was it Hudson?
I don't know. Someone tried to stop him.
No, Hudson tried to stop Menendez from getting into the room. I remember. Yeah, it was Mason that was stopping Woods.
The useless facts I remember, but the ones I need to remember, I don't.
The amount,
Dude, I feel that.
the amount of facts I could drop on you about Call of Duty campaigns right now. You think I was a Vietnam War historian? Like,
That's how I feel about Kingdom Hearts. I know too much about that game. Sadly so. All right, Brandon, is that it for yours?
Yeah.
All right, then, Jack, do you have one?
Yeah, I just was looking through like death character deaths that shouldn't really have happened. And I found one from I've talked about this game before from Telltale before, The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
I know who you're talking about.
Lee Everett.
The black dude.
Yeah, he shouldn't have died, man. Like, I've told you about how Clementine lost her parents and her father figure all in the same game. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, he didn't deserve to die, even though he killed his his wife's boyfriend, I think. But he didn't deserve to die. He made up for his past mistakes and stuff like that. And Clementine needed that father figure in her life. And then he got killed off for no reason, which is depressing. Like he
Yeah.
got
I think you're taking it very well.
he got bit by a zombie at, like, I forget what season it was. This game came in different seasons. No, different episodes.
Like
And
chapters.
what?
It's weird.
Chapters?
It's a Telltale Games. It's so
Yeah, it
confusing.
was different
Yeah.
episodes. Each season had like 6 episodes that you had to wait for to come out.
And then the company just shut down for the last one.
Yeah. Which was sad. But I think they still finished her arc.
Yeah, really
Um,
shittily.
Motion
They rushed
comic or
it.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It rushed. It wasn't good.
But yeah, they weren't making money because nobody was buying their games.
Um
Meowth, that's
Ah.
right.
Big facts.
What else was I gonna say?
The game was doo doo.
The game
mean,
itself
such
wasn't
me.
doo-doo. It was just
It's
Lee's
a Telltale
death.
game. It just
It's a Telltale game.
Yeah.
It's made to be bad. I will admit, I did watch the entire playthrough. I forgot by who though.
Probably
Shit.
by what
PewDiePie?
PewDiePie, thank you.
I
Or
thought it may have been
Jacksepticeye.
PewDiePie.
I watched
Either
neither of them.
PewDiePie or Markiplier. I don't know if Markiplier played
Probably.
it actually.
oh, he definitely would have.
Yeah.
That guy
He
plays
would've,
bad
though.
games.
That's his whole career.
Yeah, he is
Uh,
for
crying.
bad games.
Lots of
now.
crying,
Oh,
a lot of tears.
Let's talk about respect.
God.
So is that
okay.
it, Jack?
Yeah.
All
that's it.
right. Now my bad death is Zach Fair in Final Fantasy VII, the original game. Because in that game, the death is really dumb and stupid. And because the PS1 game, he just gets shot and like fucking flops around like a fish. And that's literally all you get to see. So that's why I like the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core one more, because you actually show him, oh, this guy's a badass. He's literally one-manning a whole army instead of just getting shot and like flopping around and then dying. It actually shows like, okay, this is why this guy was a badass and why he's important to the fucking story. And not just, dead. And I think Lenny just left, so now I don't have anyone to back me up.
I'm sorry. I had to do something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, basically they just said, it was just more of a thing where it's just like, Zack exists, but you don't need to worry about him. And then later on they're like, wait, but we can make Zack really cool if we did this.
We can just make him better, Cloud, and like,
Yeah.
make everybody really happy. Because that's what he is.
Yeah. There's another point where it's just like, they want to either get that like through that, Zack existed and then died, or it was just really lazy writing.
I mean, I don't think it was lazy. I think it was just limitations, but it still annoyed me
That-
because
yeah.
I think because in Final Fantasy VII, they're trying to get across that like Cloud thinks he's Zack, which is really weird because like if in Crisis Core they explain it more because it's like, oh, he was literally like pretty much dead while he was like on death's door while Zack is like traveling across and like pretty much running away to save him. And by the time that like Zack dies, Cloud's like still like delusional. So he kind of like he's in this like state where he's like hearing Zack talk about all his stories, and that's why he thinks that like after a while they're like, oh, they're my stories. I did these things. I'm the cool guy.
So you want to hear how his original death gets worse? Because I just watched it. So
The original one?
Yeah, the original, where he just gets shot and then he runs over and then he flops down and then the 3 guys who shot him, one of them goes over and double taps him in the head. Actually, no, he triple taps him in the head.
Well, they do that in Crisis Core too, but like it's after you're fucking just like one man the whole army. But they literally just like he's on the ground and they shoot him like 3 more times and he flops around each time.
Yeah, God, that's so bad.
It's kind of terrible. They kind of just like, this is character that's important to Cloud. It's literally his entire backstory, but we're not gonna do anything with it.
He did.
Yeah, he was here, but now he gone.
Now I'm going.
He got a lot of bullet holes.
He gone, and that's it. There's nothing else to say.
That's it. That's
That, as Hideo Kojima would say, I played Final Fantasy VII.
Played Final Fantasy
It was a game.
It was a game.
Okay, now Dan, to finish us
Okay.
off.
I probably should have had you finish it off. Because I don't know if
I mean, we
have,
should have
like-
had Patty finish it off, but
Oh,
like,
that yeah,
it's
that's,
fine.
yeah.
I think from now on, when we
Yeah.
go to record and do something like we're going down a list, I'm just gonna put a Z in front of my name, my Discord name, so I just teleport down to the bottom.
Well, I don't really have a bad one necessarily. I mean, I thought of one, and at the time it was probably a good death sequence, but it like sort of feels very cartoony and very coincidental, like playing it back. Does that count as bad?
I would say
It's-
so.
Yeah, it's soured with age.
I
Doesn't
mean,
really work.
I like
Is that how you would explain it?
yeah.
I think
Okay. Well, it's from the first Uncharted game, and I'd say the first one. It's not the worst one. It's just a lot of it feels a little bit kind of like, well, not dated, but some of the the controls feel a little bit like outdated, or not like cartoony kind of. Like the jumps are kind of like not realistic, and then less so as time went forward with the sequels. But the ending, you this throughout the game you get the like this like rich white old dude named Roman who pretty much kind of wants to settle a score with your pal Sully. Who's like, you owe me money, so like if you're not gonna give me the money, I'm just gonna beat you to the treasure and I'm gonna take that, but you still owe me, kind of thing. And like they're going after the El Dorado, in who that was the city of gold, but in the game it's revealed to be a statue kind of gold figure that like once you open it, it's like a tomb. Once you open it, there's a curse, and basically if like when you open it, it turns you into like zombie characters. And so by the end of it, he's working he's working with a dude named Navarro, who he like broke out of prison or something like that, and who keeps getting like pushed over. And by the end of it, Navarro, he's like, yeah, you go ahead, go open it. And because he doesn't know, the old dude doesn't know what happens, right? He opens it, the old dude gets turned into a zombie, and Navarro just straight up just kills him. He's like, now I'm the bad guy. And then you kind of he takes your other friend Elena, and then you got to go after them. And then the final fight takes place on a large boat and like when it's raining. So it feels a little bit like 2005 era kind of action movie. And then by the end of it, you kind of like shooting people, like shooting his army, I guess you would call it. And then by the end of it, you don't have a gun. You go after him. You kind of like kick his gun. You punch him, and then he's down for the count for the moment. And then you go ahead and save Elena from a like a helicopter that crashed that she was on. She's fine, but he helps her out. The dude comes back and he's like, I beat you, and he puts the gun next to him, and then Nathan Drake pushes the helicopter off the boat, and then little do we realize that the guy is standing on top of the rope in a circle that is attached to the helicopter, and his leg gets caught onto it, and he falls to his death. And then he falls with the helicopter and the treasure, and I guess he drowns. Now, like I said, it's a little bit cartoony. It feels a little bit like, oh, that's a very big coincidence. You stood on on that perfect circle piece of rope.
Yeah, it's kind of just a series of just like,
Yeah.
oh, this just worked.
Yeah, kind of thing. Well, I mean, that's kind of how Nathan Drake's game is. Kind of like, oh, he's lucky sometimes, but like this one kind of felt a little bit like,
Too lucky.
yeah,
Yeah. The bad guy
mean-
happens to be standing in a perfect circle of the rope attached to the treasure and the helicopter
Now this
as
is a
it's
Rube
going
Goldberg
off.
if I've seen one before.
Yeah, as it's going off the cliff into the ocean, and it just so happens to pull him down and tighten around his leg before he notices what's happening, and kill
He
him.
still shoots, but misses everything.
Yeah, and all of
shoots
his
the-
bullets miss.
Yeah. it's a good game, but like that ending was like a little. Even when I played it the first time around, I was like, huh, I guess that happened because I played the second one first. And then I played the first one, and like I said, the controls felt a little bit wonky, because in the second game, I like to jump, and the first game you have a stiff jump, so kind of the experience of going through the game and actually like I said, it's not a bad game, but in general, the first game isn't
No, I think
realistic.
I think your death
or-
is bad in a similar way that the one I said was, just because like it's aged poorly.
Yeah,
like
that's why I kind of chose
it doesn't portray the character well. It doesn't. It works, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah,
And is that it?
yeah, I think that's it. I'm good.
Okay, so who's gonna wrap up this episode?
Brandon, you started it, right?
Yeah.
All right, you
Want me to
wanna?
end it?
Yeah, can you?
All right. I got you.
Notes.
Take it away, buddy.
Is my voice lagging for you guys?
No.
No, we're good.
Yeah, you're good right now.
Okay, because for me,
I-
my internet is ass, so I hit you guys like robotically.
Oh,
No, you're
You
good for
sound
us.
good right
Fine.
now.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
As always, thank you so much for listening to our podcast for today's episode. You can always listen to us on iTunes app, Spotify, Stitcher,
Hiya.
Google,
Ouya.
and maybe YouTube's.
I
Yeah.
swear to
YouTube's
God,
been work
this
in
PC is
progress.
giving me a little headache.
How come?
Well, I'll explain when we're done.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on a whole spiel. I don't rather not do that now. But yeah,
But as always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, if you want to tell us we're awesome, if you want to give us suggestions, if you want to tell us we suck, or anything like that,
you can add.
you could always email us at nerdsbellikepod@gmail.com or check us out on the social media links on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at nerdsbellikepod.
Yeah.
And you always know what I gotta say now about our merch. Everyone else can agree with me, but our shit is very pristine. If you want, something cozy, warm, since it's getting pretty nice out with the weather, it's about to be that summertime. You want a nice t-shirt, tank top, onesie. I don't know.
The onesie's only for kids.
If you want your baby to be stunting, get your baby a onesie.
I might
But
actually get my nephew a onesie.
Do it, dog.
Man, I'm
I don't know if I'll
telling
fit
you.
him when he's born, but I'll still save it.
That kid gonna be fresh.
We got that good on our site.
Spoil him. I think I'll do my last bit, the donation, and then I think you can do the end part. So like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, I have found some links that that I'll put in the description of this episode, and I think for the last 3 episodes it should be there too. There are links and resources for donations for people to be like, if you can donate at this time, then this crisis and everything happening with the coronavirus. If you can donate, I'll leave some resources below, like for UNICEF, for Feeding America, for the Red Cross, and the World Health Organization. I always forget that one, but I do. It is down there. And if you can donate to that, like even if it's $1, it's all goes to a good cause and everything. And support local businesses.
As always, it's your boys, the homies, the crew.
Jack.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were saying that.
I was just gonna say bye. Bye.
Everybody, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Craig, you can leave now.
You may leave.